Have you ever laid next to him in the quiet of the night, felt the warmth of his skin, and yet sensed a tiny, invisible wall between you? It's a feeling many women know but rarely voice. It isn't that he doesn't love you or isn't attracted to you. Rather, your intuition is whispering that there is a part of him he keeps locked away. The truth is, you're right. Psychologically, most men operate with a heavy internal filter because society conditions them from a young age to believe their most primal desires are too aggressive or disrespectful to the women they love. Out of a twisted form of respect, he edits himself, giving you the polished, safe version of his desire, while holding back his deepest fantasies for fear of judgment or rejection. But the silence you feel between the sheets isn't an absence of passion. It is a dam holding back a flood. By being here, you have positioned yourself to bridge that gap and walk through the door he keeps bolted shut. This isn't about physical tricks or costumes. We are going to uncover the 4 hidden fantasies rooted in his need to feel competent, his need to be devoured, and his need for total acceptance. When a man realizes you understand these drives without him having to explain them, you stop being just a partner and become his ultimate sanctuary, the only person who speaks his secret language. The first concept to understand is competent dominance. While the word dominance might sound aggressive, in the male mind, it is about having power for you, not over you. Men derive immense self-worth from their utility and ability to manage chaos. In the bedroom, he fantasizes about being the captain of the ship so completely that you feel safe enough to let go of the wheel. He wants to be the one who decides the intensity, not because he thinks you are weak, but because he craves the strength of leading you through an experience. This is a secret gift to you. As a woman who manages a career, a household, or a family, your brain is constantly on. His fantasy is to be the one thing you don't have to manage, to be so assertive that he forces your thinking brain to shut off, allowing you to finally exhale and just be. You can invite this in through surrender signals, non-verbal cues, like pausing when things heat up to create a vacuum for him to fill, or using a softer, breathier tone that triggers his instinct to protect and lead. Next is the fantasy of the visual voyeur. While your instinct may be to dim the light to hide insecurities, the male brain, in a state of arousal, filters out flaws and looks for reaction. He doesn't want to critique your body. He wants to witness the effect he has on you. He craves the mirror effect, seeing his own desire reflected in your flushed face and your hands gripping the sheets. To him, your pleasure is a tangible trophy of his competence as a lover. If you constantly hide in the dark, he is operating blindly. But when you allow yourself to be seen, you are giving him the visual evidence that he is winning. You can bridge this gap slowly by using mood lighting like candles or dim, which provides a soft filter while still letting him see your expressions, eventually building the confidence to tell him, "Look at what you're doing to me." The third pillar is the taboo contrast. You likely spend most of your life as the responsible good girl, a role he deeply respects. However, his hidden fantasy relies on the temporary destruction of that image. He is captivated by the idea that the same polite woman the world sees can transform into an uninhibited creature behind closed doors. This exclusivity is an adrenaline rush. He wants to know he possesses the secret code to unleash your private passion. You can fulfill this by breaking the script of predictable, polite conversation and using uninhibited vocalization, dirty talk that feels raw rather than filtered. When you show him your darker, more primal side, you aren't risking his respect. You are giving him a psychological gift. You are signing a permission slip that says he can stop being the good guy and unleash his own primal nature within a safe, shared conspiracy. Finally, we must address the fantasy of enthusiastic ravishment. In long-term relationships, intimacy can sometimes feel like a chore where you are physically present but energetically passive. This starfish dynamic hurts a man because his deepest craving is to be enthusiastically desired. He wants to feel like he is the most addictive thing in your world, because men often carry a silent fear of rejection from always being the pursuer. Your initiation is incredibly healing. When you flip the script and hunt him, you silence his insecurities and prove that you crave him, not just tolerate him. This huntress energy doesn't require aggression. It's about intenta, lingering kiss, a suggestive text, or a firm grip that signals your hunger. By becoming the active agent of desire, you reclaim your power and give him the greatest ego boost possible, letting him know that he is truly home. These 4 fantasies are emotional requests for connection and validation. By understanding them, you become his psychological safe haven, creating an unbreakable bond that goes far beyond the bedroom.
Hello, my beautiful ladies. I want to start today by asking you a very personal question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever hugged a man, maybe a partner, a date, or someone you're attracted to, and felt absolutely nothing? It felt like 2 cardboard cutouts bumping into each other. But then, on the flip side, have you ever experienced a hug where the moment your bodies touched, the entire world seemed to shift on its axis? It was the same set of arms, the same amount of closeness, and yet the reaction was completely different. It felt electric, magnetic, and deeply grounding all at once. So, what is the difference? Here is the secret that most women go their entire lives without ever truly learning. A hug is never just a physical gesture of affection. A hug is a message. It is a form of communication that is older and more primal than language itself. When a hug is done the right way, it bypasses his logical brain entirely and speaks directly to his body, his biology, and his deepest feelings before a single word ever leaves your lips. This isn't about being overly obvious, performing, or trying too hard to be sexy. It is about something much more subtle and powerful. It is about being present, calm, and radically confident in your own skin. You see, most hugs in our modern world are rushed. They are polite, friendly, safe, and ultimately completely forgettable. They are the greeting card of physical touch. But when you learn to slow down, when you learn to let your body arrive in his space before your arms do, and when you linger just a heartbeat longer than social norms dictate, something magical happens. You create a spark. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly how to hug a man in a way that he will never, ever forget, a way that makes him feel masculine, awakens his dormant desire, and leaves him craving your presence long after you have let go. Ladies, let's dive deep into the very first secret. This is the foundation of everything we are going to talk about today, and while it sounds incredibly simple, it is unbelievably powerful. Secret number 1 is you must slow down the hug. In our busy lives, we are always rushing. We rush to work, we rush through conversations, and sadly, we rush our affection. Most women rush their hugs without even realizing they are doing it. They move in quickly, wrap their arms around his neck, squeeze for a split second, and pull away as if they are afraid of lingering too long. The truth is, when you do that, the hug feels utilitarian. It feels ordinary. It registers in his brain as friendly and safe, which is the opposite of desire. But when you make the conscious decision to slow down, everything changes. When you approach a hug with intention, with a slowness that commands attention, you shift the dynamic instantly. Think about the physics of it for a moment. When you slow down, when you pause for just a microsecond before your body fully meets his, you are creating tension. You are creating anticipation. And ladies, anticipation is one of the most seductive gifts you can give a man. That tiny pause, that fraction of a second where you are close enough to touch but haven't yet made contact, is enough to make him notice you in a completely different way. It snaps him out of his autopilot mode. It makes the moment feel intimate, electrically charged, and magnetic. By the time you finally wrap your arms around him, he is already feeling your presence. He is already processing the heat coming off your body and the energy you are bringing into his space. This slow movement tells him a story. It says, this hug is different. This interaction is special. This moment is just about you, me, and this connection right now. It is subtle, it is incredibly sexy, and it is powerful because it shows you are not afraid of intimacy. It is also deeply rooted in intention. Don't just hug him, because it is the polite thing to do when he walks through the door. Hug him with purpose. Hug him knowing that this interaction can communicate more than an hour of conversation ever could. Hug him knowing that your body, your feminine energy, and your stillness are creating desire and attraction. As you move in slowly, soften your body. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let your chest and arms communicate comfort and warmth. Breathe slowly. That relaxed, slow energy makes him feel drawn to you like a moth to a flame. It makes him feel excited yet safe. The longer you stay in that intentional approach, the more unforgettable the hug becomes. Now, beautiful ladies, let's move into the nuance of the second secret. This is where we start to get into the biology of attraction. This secret is about letting your body speak first. What do I mean by that? I mean that before your arms even reach up to wrap around him, your body, your torso, your heart center should be doing the talking. Most women rush the hug by diving in hands first, creating an A-frame shape where the shoulders touch but the bodies are far apart. But the real magic, the real chemical reaction happens before your arms act. It happens when your body creates proximity. If you do this right, he will feel a jolt of connection that is deep and unforgettable. When you approach him, do not move mechanically. Don't just throw your arms up. Lean in slightly, letting your chest and your presence make contact first. That initial touch, which is just gentle enough for him to feel your warmth through his clothes, is magnetic. It communicates a very specific message. I want to be close to you. I enjoy being near you. I am confident enough to close the gap. Men feel this visceral proximity in their bodies before they process it intellectually. That small, intentional closeness creates a tension that is sexy, romantic, and completely irresistible. It triggers his protective and masculine instincts. Your posture and your energy here are just as important as the physical touch. You want to stand tall, lengthening your spine, but keep your muscles relaxed and soft. Open your body language. Let your energy radiate a calm confidence. Lean in just enough so he feels your presence without you forcing yourself on him or knocking him off balance. This is not about pushing or pressing, it is about arriving. Your body communicates safety, comfort, and a subtle underlying desire all at once. Men are instinctively drawn to women who are present and comfortable in their own skin. They notice these small movements, even if they can't put words to why you feel different than other women. When your arms finally do wrap around him, the moment feels electric because your body has already set the stage. You have already breached his personal space in the most delightful way. That gentle, intentional closeness, the slight pressure at your chest against his, communicates intimacy and attraction in a way that is primal. You have sent the message, this is intimate. When you combine this body, first approach with lingering just a heartbeat longer, you amplify everything. That extra moment lets him process the sensation of your body against his. It allows him to smell your scent, feel your heat, and sense your softness. Breathe softly as you hold him there. Let your body relax and sink into the moment. A calm, present energy makes him feel drawn to you, excited yet comfortable. This is the essence of letting your body speak first. It is seductive without being aggressive. It is intimate without being overwhelming. He will notice you differently, feel you differently, and I guarantee you, he will be thinking about the feeling of your body against his long after you have stepped away. Ladies, please remember this, your body is your most powerful tool of communication. It can signal confidence, desire, and safety far more effectively than any pickup line or conversation starter. By letting your body lead, by leaning in with intention and moving with that calm, magnetic energy, you create a hug that is sexy, romantic, and completely unforgettable. That is the secret of letting your body speak first, and trust me, when you do it right, he feels it in his soul. Now, beautiful ladies, let's transition to the third secret. This one is often overlooked, but it is the difference between a platonic hug and a romantic embrace. We need to talk about your hands. Yes, your hands are more powerful than most women realize. They are conductors of energy. They can communicate confidence, desire, and intimacy without you saying a word. The way you place them, the way you hold him, and even the slightest pressure you apply can make him feel a connection so deep it becomes unforgettable. Most women don't think twice about where to put their hands during a hug. They might awkwardly pat his back, which is the universal sign for friendship. Or they wrap their arms quickly and let their hands hover. But if you use your hands with calm, confident intention, you can completely change how he experiences that hug. When you place your hand on his back, his neck, or his shoulder, the golden rule is do not fidget, do not pat, do not move nervously. Keep your hand steady, grounded, and confident. A simple, relaxed, and heavy hand can communicate volumes. It says, I am comfortable in this moment. I know exactly what I want. I am confident, and I enjoy being here right now with you. Men feel this confidence in their bodies. They feel it in the strength and stillness of your touch. That steadiness creates a sense of grounding for him. It is magnetic. It draws him in and makes him feel the intimacy without you having to do anything overly sexual. Your hands don't have to wander or grab to create desire. In fact, subtlety is far more powerful. Imagine placing your hand intentionally on the back of his neck, right where the hairline ends, and just letting it rest there. Or placing a hand flat between his shoulder blades and pressing just slightly. These areas are high sensory zones. This kind of touch creates tension, anticipation, and connection all at once. Men pick up on these signals instinctively. Your calm, confident touch tells him that this moment is intimate, special, and meant to be shared just between the two of you. And we must not forget the power of the lingering touch. When your hand stays in place just a second longer than he expects, or perhaps slides slowly down his arm as you pull away, it creates an unforgettable energy trail. That little extra moment tells him, without words, that this hug wasn't just a greeting. It was something more. It was meaningful. It is in these small, intentional movements of the hands that desire begins to spark. He will feel it in his body before he even realizes it in his mind. Remember, ladies, your hands are your secret weapon. They are one of the most subtle but powerful tools in creating attraction. By using them with confidence, by keeping your touch steady, relaxed, and intentional, you make him feel seen. You make him feel desired. You communicate a feminine strength and sensuality that is impossible to ignore. So, the next time you hug him, pay close attention to your palms and your fingers. Let them speak. Let them communicate desire. Because when you do it right, your touch will brand itself into his memory. Moving on to the fourth secret, and this one is arguably the most important for creating a deep emotional and chemical bond. Secret number 4 is breathe and relax. This may sound incredibly basic. We all breathe, right? But trust me, doing this consciously is one of the most seductive things you can do when hugging a man. Most women think a hug is just physical, just wrapping arms. But the truth is, a hug is an exchange of energy. It is a feedback loop. The way you breathe and the way you let your body relax sends signals that a man feels deep in his own nervous system. When you are calm, confident, and present, he cannot help but be drawn to you. Think about the opposite scenario. When you approach him for a hug, if your body is tense, if your shoulders are up by your ears, if your breath is shallow or you are holding it, he feels that tension immediately. He might not know why, but his body will go on alert. The hug will feel jagged, anxious, or just ordinary. But when you breathe softly, when you consciously slow your movements and let your body melt slightly into the hug, everything changes. That calm energy is contagious. It is magnetic. It makes him feel comfortable and safe, yet hyper-aware of your presence in the most exciting way. He can sense that you are completely in the moment, not worrying about your day, not worrying about how you look, but fully there with him. Your breath communicates more than words ever could. Try this. Take a soft, steady inhale through your nose as you lean in. Let your chest rise gently against his. Then exhale slowly and audibly, just a soft sigh as you hold him. That rhythm, subtle but intentional, creates a pulse of intimacy. It signals to his body that he can let his guard down too. Men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and when a woman offers them a space of total relaxation, it is addictive. Men respond to energy before they respond to touch. When you are relaxed, he relaxes. When you are confident and present, he feels desire building naturally because he is no longer in defense mode. He is in connection mode. And here is the secret nuance most women miss: your calm presence makes him notice you more intensely. When you breathe, soften and relax, every other sensation is amplified. The feeling of your curves, the smell of your hair, the warmth of your skin, it all becomes high definition for him. The hug feels electric without you doing anything wild. It is in the energy, in the quiet confidence, in the softness of your body meeting his that desire begins to spark. He feels you, really feels you. So ladies, remember, your breath is your anchor. A relaxed, confident, and present energy creates intimacy, draws him in, and awakens desire in a way words never could. Breathe into the hug. Feel the moment. Let your body soften and fully exist in his arms. When you do this, every hug becomes a sanctuary he never wants to leave. Finally, beautiful ladies, we arrive at the 5th secret. This is the closer. This is how you seal the deal. Secret number 5 is end the hug like a promise. This is where most people get it wrong. Most women hug, hold for a moment, and then abruptly pat the back and pull away, breaking the connection instantly. When that happens, the energy dissipates. It's over. But when you learn to end a hug in a way that lingers, That leaves him feeling something he can't quite describe. You create an experience he will crave. Ending a hug like a promise isn't about being dramatic. It's not about refusing to let go. It is subtle, sexy, and confident. It is about the slide away. It is the small pause just before you step back that makes all the difference. That little moment where you hold slightly longer than he expects, where your hands or your body stay in gentle contact as you begin to separate, communicates desire. It says, I enjoy being close to you, and I am not in a hurry to leave this moment. That simple message hits him on a deep, masculine level. It validates him. When you let the hug linger, you are giving him time to miss you before you are even gone. You are letting the warmth of your body stay in his memory. Men process these subtle moments physically. That small pause triggers his awareness and builds a desire he may not even be able to explain. It is a silent message that you are confident, that you are in control of the flow, and that you enjoy him. That is incredibly seductive. And here is the magic of the promise. When you end the hug this way, perhaps by letting your hand drag slowly off his arm, or by maintaining eye contact for a split second as you pull back, you leave a lasting impression. You leave a trace. He will feel the ghost of that hug in his body, in his chest, and in his mind long after it is over. That lingering energy creates anticipation for the next time he thinks about you. He remembers the warmth. He feels a connection that is subtle, sexy, and completely unforgettable. It is the perfect way to make an ordinary hug feel extraordinarily romantic. Ladies, remember this: how you end a hug matters just as much as how you start it. Do not rush away. Do not make it mechanical. Pull back with intention, with grace, and with just the right pause that makes him feel the energy linger in the air between you. By doing this, you turn a simple embrace into a cliffhanger. You leave him craving more. You leave him hooked. Ending a hug like a promise is pure, undeniable magic. So to recap what we have learned today, hugging a man isn't just a simple gesture of saying hello or goodbye. When done the right way, a hug is a powerful tool of seduction and connection. It can awaken desire, spark deep intimacy, and make him think about you long after you have stepped away. It is about the 5 secrets C, slowing down your approach to create anticipation, letting your body and heart speak first before your arms do, using your hands with steady, grounding confidence, breathing and relaxing to create a magnetic energy exchange, and finally, ending the hug like a promise, leaving him wanting more. The power is in your presence. The way you move, the way you hold, the way you linger, all of it creates a story of tension and connection. When you master these secrets, every hug becomes electric. Every embrace leaves him wondering about you. Every moment with you feels unforgettable. So, beautiful ladies, the next time you see him, don't just hug him, mesmerize him. Remember, your body speaks, your energy seduces, and your presence leaves him wanting you like never before. Go out there and make every hug count. This is a complete rewrite of the transcript you provided. Crucial details. Structure maintained. I have strictly adhered to the exact story structure, sequence of tips, and paragraph themes of the original script, so your pre-arranged images will still align perfectly. Original voice, every sentence has been rewritten with fresh vocabulary, different phrasing, and new metaphors to ensure it is a unique piece of content while maintaining the same seductive, authoritative, and instructional tone. Length and pacing. The rewrite is designed to match the pacing and word count required for a 25-minute video. Here is your rewritten script. Introduction: the shift in power. Ladies, let's begin tonight by being brutally honest. Have you ever truly observed what happens to a man, even the most composed, confident man, the moment he realizes your intentions are heading south? It's fascinating. His breath hitches in his throat. Every muscle in his body tightens involuntarily. And suddenly, that man who is usually in charge becomes utterly defenseless. He is completely at your mercy, or perhaps more accurately, at the mercy of your mouth. That right there is the genuine magic of oral intimacy. You have to understand, this isn't merely about physical pleasure. This is about mastery. It's about the influence you hold to make his mind go completely blank. The ability to reduce him to a state where he is silently pleading with you never to stop. It's the power to transform him into a trembling, vocal mess who suddenly realizes he has a brand new addiction. The unfortunate reality, however, is that the vast majority of women simply don't grasp just how deeply men crave this specific kind of charge energy when you use your mouth. Too many women treat it like a chore, a special occasion favor, or something to get over with quickly. What they fail to see is that when oral is executed masterfully, it is hands down one of the fastest, most potent ways to shatter a man's composure, forge an unbreakable bond with him, and make him look at you with awe, believing you are the most incredible creature he's ever encountered. We need to be clear about something right now. What we're discussing tonight isn't just about the mechanics or technique. This is about your entire attitude. It's about the anticipation you build before contact, how you utilize your lips, the art of your tongue, the vibration of your voice, and yes, even the power of your gaze to bring him to the absolute brink of madness. Tonight, I'm going to hand you 5 essential keys, secrets he desperately wishes you knew, but will never have the courage to ask for outright, because men won't articulate this. They just silently pray that the woman they are with intuitively figures it out. And when you do figure it out, believe me, he will practically worship the ground you walk on for it. So get ready, because by the end of this, you will know exactly how to make him dissolve completely and beg for seconds. Tip 1, the art of anticipation. Ladies, listen closely, because this is the area most women completely bypass when it comes to giving head. The most devastatingly powerful move in your arsenal is not immediately diving in for the main event. It is the restraint. It is the art of anticipation, the tease before the actual taste. That makes his mind snap. Picture the scene. He is lying there waiting, his entire body already humming with the craving for your touch. And instead of granting him immediate satisfaction, you make him wait. That waiting game is absolute torture for him, but it is the most exquisite kind of torture. You must start slowly. Do not even think about approaching his most sensitive area just yet. Hover your face just above him. Get close enough that he can feel the warmth of your breath ghosting over his skin, but do not make contact. His body will involuntarily shiver with the sheer expectation of what's coming. That right there is the power of teasing. You are essentially priming every single nerve ending, turning them into live wires before the real act even begins. Start by kissing his inner thighs with agonizing slowness. Drag your lips across the sensitive skin of his lower stomach. Leave wet, tantalizing trails with your tongue that stop just millimeters short of where he is aching for you the most. Every single second you delay gratification is like pouring gasoline onto a fire he is already struggling to contain. And here is the secret truth: men absolutely love being teased far more than they will ever admit to you. Why? Because it completely flips the power dynamic. He is used to being the one in the driver's seat, but when you slow everything down, when you take your sweet time, you become the director of the show. You are making him plead without him having to utter a single word. You'll know it's working during that moment when his hips instinctively buck upward, trying to push you closer, or when his hands reach down to try and guide your head because he's desperate for relief. That's when you know you have him exactly where you want him. The tease has done its job. Furthermore, you cannot neglect the auditory elements. A soft, appreciative moan as your lips trail down past his navel, a playful, vibrating hum against his skin. The undeniably erotic sound of wet kisses moving lower and lower. It's not just about physical sensation, it's about what his ears are picking up. Those noises send his imagination into overdrive. He is vividly picturing what is about to happen, and the anticipation alone is driving him insane. The tease is also about utilizing your tongue in ways that create a desperate ache. Flick it with feathered light pressure along the sensitive ridges, swirl it around the very tip, and then immediately pull away before he can fully process the sensation. It is the ultimate game of no, you have me, now you don't. That stop and start rhythm transforms regular arousal into pure desperation. And trust me on this, desperation is the primary ingredient that makes the final moment absolutely explosive. Here is the mistake most women make. They think men want it all right now. If you give him everything too quickly, the experience is over before it ever truly began. But when you take your time, when you tease him so mercilessly that his hips are lifting off the mattress, his breathing is shallow and ragged, and his knuckles are white from gripping the sheets, he isn't just feeling pleasure anymore. He is feeling completely overwhelmed. That is the moment he looks down at you like you are a mythical goddess, because you have transported him to a headspace he could never achieve on his own. So kiss him, lick him, whisper against his heated skin. Let him feel your lips wandering with purpose. Let him hear the desire dripping from your voice. Let him see that you are savoring every single inch of his anatomy. Draw the experience out until he genuinely cannot take another second of it, until he is whimpering your name and practically losing all physical control beneath you. That is the art of anticipation. It's building so much tension that when you finally do take him into your mouth, the pleasure is earth-shattering, and deep in your soul, that he will never forget the way you made him feel in that moment. Because ultimately, the tease isn't about denial. It's about crafting an experience so intoxicating that he will crave your mouth every time your name crosses his mind. That, ladies, is how you create an addiction before the main act even starts. Tip 2, the power of visual connection. Moving on to the second crucial element. This is something the vast majority of women drastically underestimate. The immense power of using your eyes during oral intimacy. You might be thinking that it's entirely about what your lips and tongue are doing physically, but let me assure you of this. If you master the art of eye contact at the precise right moments, you will completely undo him. You have to remember that men aren't just turned on by physical sensation. They are deeply aroused by the experience of being desired, and absolutely nothing communicates, "I want you, I own you right now more effectively than the way you look at him while your mouth is busy. Visualize this scenario. He's lying back, already groaning because of the incredible work your lips are doing. His eyes flutter open for a moment. And what does he see? You looking directly up at him, your gaze locked onto his. Perhaps there's that playful, slightly naughty glint in your eyes. That single split second, that flash of intense connection can make his entire body shudder violently. It ceases to be just a physical act. It becomes deeply psychological. He feels wanted, he feels devoured, and he feels completely yours. It's not just about a blank stare either. It's about attitude. Your eyes are capable of telling a story. You can give him that soft, almost innocent look, like you're a little shy but way too turned on to stop yourself. Or you can hit him with that dominant, fiery stare that communicates, "Don't you dare move a muscle. I am in full control of this situation." Both approaches drive men wild in completely different ways, and the key is knowing when to switch between them. Never underestimate how much men love witnessing your own pleasure during the act. When you look up at him with those hungry, intense eyes, lips wrapped tightly around him, and you let out a soft moan that he can feel vibrating against his skin, he isn't just feeling it anymore, he's watching it happen. That visual input sends shockwaves through his system. He's no longer just a passive receiver of pleasure. He is part of an erotic feedback loop where every glance, every breath ties him deeper to you. Here's what most women miss. The mouth provides the physical stimulus, but the eyes provide the emotional hook. When you utilize them simultaneously, you aren't just pleasuring his body, you are touching his psyche. And believe me, that is what creates addiction in a man. He can find mere physical pleasure in many places, but true intimacy, that electric combination of intense eye contact and oral skill, that is rare. So you need to play with this. Look up at him as you slide your tongue slowly down his length. Let him see the fire burning in your eyes, then break the connection. Close your eyes tightly, moan softly as if you are the one overwhelmed by ecstasy. Then snap your gaze right back to his, your lips glistening as if to say, "Did you see exactly what I just did to you?" That emotional roller coaster of visual and physical stimulation makes his heart pound and his body tremble. And don't for a second think he won't notice. A man might not have the vocabulary to articulate why eye contact during oral drives him crazy, but his body will tell you everything you need to know. His breathing will get heavier, his hips will start moving uncontrollably, and he won't be able to stop whispering your name. That is how you know you have unlocked something in him he didn't even realize he was craving. The honest truth is, when you use your eyes effectively while your mouth is on him, you aren't just giving him a physical release. You are making love to his mind. You are branding your image into his memory, because long after the act itself is finished, he won't just remember the sensations. He will remember the visuals. He'll remember how it connected him to you and how it made him feel simultaneously worshipped and utterly consumed. Ladies, never neglect the sexiest weapon you already possess, your eyes. Pair them with your skills, and you will give him an experience so potent he'll never be able to look at you in the same way again. Tip 3, the necessity of variety. Ladies, let me share a secret with you that separates good from absolutely mind-blowing. That secret is variety. If you maintain the exact same motion, the same consistent rhythm, and the same speed for the entire duration, his body will eventually acclimate to it. And once his body gets used to the sensation, the thrill begins to fade. But when you keep him constantly guessing, switching up your speed, pressure, rhythm, and technique, you will make him lose total control because his brain never knows what is coming next. Unpredictability is one of the sexiest tools available to you. Think of it using this analogy. His body is a complex musical instrument. If you only ever play one single note, it gets boring very fast. But when you mix it up, soft over here, firm over there, slow for a minute, then suddenly fast, you create a symphony that makes him explode with pleasure. Variety isn't just about physically changing what your mouth is doing. It's about keeping him mentally on edge. Start with incredibly slow, teasing licks, the kind that make him groan with frustration because they just aren't enough. Then, right when he's practically begging for more, take him deeper, move faster with real purpose and intent. Just when he thinks he has figured out the pattern, change the game again. Pull all the way back, just swirl your tongue around the tip, give him a gentle kiss, and then dive back in with renewed intensity. That push and pull, that stop and start dynamic is what keeps his body trembling and his mind completely focused on you. Do not be afraid to utilize pressure. Either tighten your lips firmly around him for a moment, creating suction, then release that tension and let your tongue do the work. Alternate between soft, feather, light, delicate flicks and deeper, wetter, more substantial strokes. The contrast is what makes his sensory receptors light up. It's like hitting him with hot and cold, sweet and rough, all in the same instant. That is what makes him gasp for air. That is what makes him grab handfuls of the bed sheets and moan your name. You must remember that variety also includes rhythm. Imagine you're building a musical beat. Start slow, steady, deeply sensual. Then gradually speed the tempo up, making him feel like he is right on the verge of losing it. Then suddenly, drop the beat and slow way down again, letting him hover right on that edge. That is where the real magic happens, keeping him suspended right at the point of desperation, then pulling back just enough to keep him craving more. Here is something most women never realize: men don't just want the finish line, they want the entire ride. They want that roller coaster of sensations that takes them up, drops them down, spins them around, and brings them back again. When you offer him variety, you aren't just giving him a release, you are giving him an unforgettable journey that he will replay in his mind long after it's over. And please don't be afraid to get playful with it. Maybe you let out a moan as you switch techniques, letting him know you are enjoying the experimentation too. Maybe you pause entirely just to kiss him, letting your lips linger softly on his skin before diving back down. Maybe you surprise him with a sudden, aggressive change of pace that makes his whole body jolt with pleasure. Unpredictability is what makes you unforgettable. The beauty of variety is that it keeps him permanently hooked. He will never know what your next move is, and that mystery drives him wild. One moment you are soft and sensual, the next you are fierce and hungry. One moment you are barely grazing him, the next you are devouring him whole. Constant shifting keeps his mind spinning and his body begging for more. Ladies, never underestimate the power of mixing it up, because the truth is, a man doesn't remember average. He remembers the woman who made him feel like his entire body was being played like a Stradivarius violin. He remembers the woman who kept him guessing, who made every single second feel intense, who gave him an experience he couldn't predict but prayed would never end. So don't be a one-note player. Be the entire orchestra. Be the slow ballad, the wild rock beat, the soft hum, and the explosive crescendo. Because when you master variety, you aren't just giving him pleasure, you are making him addicted to the way you play him. And that is how you become truly unforgettable. Tip 4, the dual attack. Ladies, here is a truth that will completely transform the way you approach oral. Your mouth is incredibly powerful, yes, but when you learn to combine it effectively with your hands, you become an unstoppably force. Far too many women focus exclusively on their lips and tongue, completely forgetting that their hands have the potential to turn a good experience into an unforgettable one. You need to think of your hands as an extension of your mouth. When they work together in concert, the sensation isn't just added together, it is doubled, tripled, amplified in ways he won't even believe are possible. Picture this. Your lips are wrapped tightly around him, warm and wet, sliding slowly up and down the shaft. At the exact same time, your hand is working in perfect sync below, stroking the base, twisting gently, adding that extra layer of pressure and stimulation. He literally won't know where one sensation ends and the other begins. All his brain knows is that his body feels completely overwhelmed with pleasure. Every nerve is on fire and every muscle is tight with desire. And here is the thing. Using your hands isn't just about basic stroking, it's about creativity. You can squeeze, you can twist, you can constantly change pressure. You can even use a free hand to tease other sensitive zones while your mouth is occupied. Trace your fingertips lightly along his inner thighs, over his hip bones, across his stomach. Touch him in those places that make him shiver involuntarily. That unexpected caress while your lips are working their magic makes his whole body feel like it is under your complete command. Do not underestimate the importance of rhythm here either. You can sync your hand movements perfectly with your mouth, matching the pace so the sensations flow together seamlessly. Or you can intentionally break the pattern, let your hand maintain a steady, slow rhythm while your mouth suddenly speeds up. That combination confuses his senses in the best possible way, making him gasp, making him twitch, making him beg for mercy. And let's be brutally honest, for a moment your hands are also there to give you stamina. You do not have to do 100% of the heavy lifting with your mouth alone. Let your hands take over some of the intensity for a moment, giving your lips and tongue a chance to rest, to tease, to play, or to surprise him. Switch back and forth between focusing on the mouth and focusing on the hand until he is completely lost in the mix. Now here is where it gets really sexy. Don't just use your hands to touch him, use them to control him. Firmly hold his hips down against the mattress when he instinctively tries to thrust upward, showing him physically that you are in charge of the pace. Grab his thighs, pin him in place, forcing him to surrender completely to your rhythm. That level of physical control, that dominance, is something many men secretly crave but very rarely receive. And when you give it to him, he will never forget it. Your hands can also serve to make the experience significantly more intimate. Cup him gently. Stroke him tenderly as if you are cherishing every single inch of him. That softness, mixed with the intensity of what your mouth is doing, creates a balance of raw passion and genuine care that he will absolutely melt under. It demonstrates to him that you aren't just servicing him, you are actively enjoying giving him pleasure. And trust me, he can feel the difference. The truth is, your hands are your secret weapon. They allow you to explore territory your mouth can't reach. They allow you to assert control. They allow you to create complex layered sensations that your mouth alone could never achieve. And when you use them together, when your lips, tongue, and hands are working in perfect harmony, You give him an experience so overwhelming his brain won't even know how to process the data. He'll just moan, groan, and lose himself completely in what you are doing. Ladies, do not forget your hands, because when you combine them with your mouth, you aren't just giving him oral, you are conducting an orchestra of pleasure. You are making his entire body sing. And when you do it right, trust me, he will never want anyone else's touch but yours. Tip 5, the grand final. Ladies, let's talk about the final, the end game. The moment he is trembling, moaning, his body is right on the edge of breaking, and the only thing his mind can focus on is whether you are going to let him go over that edge or keep him hanging there just a little bit longer. This right here is where so many women mistakenly give away all their power. They rush it. They want to finish too quickly. But the absolute truth is that the finale is where you permanently stamp yourself into his memory. It's where you make him realize that he will never, ever forget you. And the secret to achieving that, you have to take absolute control of the climax. Now, men may look strong, confident, and dominant in every other aspect of their lives. But in this specific moment, when he is completely at your mercy physically, he absolutely loves it when you take the reins and decide exactly what happens next. That surrender is what makes it so intoxicating for him. You aren't just pleasing him anymore, you are owning him. So how do you take control during the finale? First, it starts with your attitude. Do not look like you are just performing a favor and are ready for it to be over. Look like you are loving every single second of his unraveling. Moan softly while your lips are wrapped tight around him. Let your voice vibrate against his most sensitive skin. Let him hear just how much you are enjoying making him weak in the knees. That sound alone can push him closer to the edge than almost anything physical. Men get addicted to the feeling that you are just as turned on by their pleasure as they are. Second, you must use your pace strategically. If you feel him getting too close to the point of no return, do not just rush him into release. Slow down immediately, pull back, make him groan with pure frustration, then dive right back in faster, deeper, hungrier than before. That stop and go rhythm keeps him teetering right on that precipice, desperate for the final push. And when you finally do decide it's time to let him go, he will explode with significantly more intensity.